What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense, and I'm here for a very, very, very special, exclusive interview. Something you will not see anywhere else with a Miss Tony Scott, who just happens to be Peter Thomas's ex-girlfriend slash somebody who was mentioned on RHOP who had absolutely nothing to do with any situation. And she is here to actually set the record straight. I hope you have some popcorn. I hope you have a drink because this is about, I don't know what this is about to be, but I know it's about to be good. Uh, so, uh, without further ado, well, she's taking a Miss Tony Scott. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I dressed up for you.
I dressed up for you, Money.
My subscribers know I don't wear jewelry and stuff like that. So this is totally for you. I want to start off with some quick ground rules because it's important to note that Tony, up until this season of Potomac, was really a private citizen. Once somebody on one of these shows kind of like name drops you or says anything about you, it's in the atmosphere, it's taken as a truth. So shout out to my subscribers who keep their ear to the streets like Mama Joyce. So many of you guys sent me Tony's Instagram, and I'm like, oh, okay, she's pretty, but they didn't actually tell me who you were. So then I went to your story and you were kind of like going in. And I reached out and I said, I'm a content creator. My subs want me to know you, who are you? And when she told me, I was like my heart sank. Just to be honest with you, my heart sank because the thought of being a private citizen and then kind of being raked over the coals sucks.
Yeah.
So I said, my platform is yours tonight if you want it to kind of address some things, tell people who the real Tony Scott is. And she happens to have known Mia since before they were both 18, correct?
Yeah, I was 18. Yep.
And she happens to be best friends with Gordon's brother's wife. So she's a person. She's a person who got something that she didn't deserve. So we're going to be respectful. Anything that involves any type of allegation that was said on the show, we're not addressing that. We're not. So if you see something in the comments about that, mods, you have the ability to delete it. Today, she's here to set the record straight, let us know who she is, and give us kind of like some behind the scenes that we've never heard, because we have to take people's word on these shows, but now we don't have to because we have a subject matter expert. So I want to start with you, Tony. How are you feeling?
Well, let me start by saying, thank you for the opportunity to, have the platform to speak up for myself. I've I've had several other bloggers and YouTubers reach out to me, but I personally was like, you know what? It's something about Make It Make Sense. I've been a fan of yours since you kind of started a year, a few months ago, maybe.
I was shocked when she said she knew my channel.
So I'm like, okay. I love this. I love your vibe. I love your energy, and I feel like you'll make it a more comfortable, setting for me. Being that I'm not one to speak publicly like ever, so I appreciate you for that.
Yeah. She doesn't know this yet. I was like, what's strange enough, when she reached out to me or responded to me, you guys know my personal situation and, what's going on with me, with my family, and, my family comes first. Well, hers does too. And we both were at the hospital at the time that she reached out. And I was, even though this interview was very important to me, I was like, hey, can I reach back out to you after, all this is taken care of and my special one is settled? And she said, absolutely, because I'm at the hospital too. Right. And I want to say this. She doesn't know this. I went through her social media page and I saw that her father is battling cancer and is currently needing brain surgery. There is a GoFundMe. Not only am I going to donate to the GoFundMe, and I have her GoFundMe linked. I'm going to scroll my Cash App, and any Cash Apps that I get tonight will go directly to her father's GoFundMe, or not even, because GoFundMe takes a percentage. Whatever I get in Cash Apps tonight, I will Cash App to her.
Wow.
Amazing. Thank you. She didn't know that. So
no,
if you
really
guys have it in your heart, great. But the Cash App will be scrolling. So let's start. You heard something about yourself on national TV.
Yes.
What was going through your mind?
Shock, for one. I was definitely confused as to why the heck am I even mentioned here? This is nothing about the show relates to me, pertains to me whatsoever. And there was no reason for me to even be referenced in any way. So yeah, initially shock, and then followed anger. Want to curse or be out. I want to have trigger fingers on social media or send her a nasty message. But with all that I'm really dealing with in my life, and the importance of my family, my reputation, where I'm going business wise, she wasn't worth it. But after it just being a continuous thing and hearing my reference on multiple episodes, and I'm like, you know what? I am ready to talk. I'm tired of this heifer.
And your picture was shown. Don't forget. Now, they did blur out the face, but it's not too hard to determine who Toni was because everybody knows that she dated Peter. How long did you date Peter?
I dated Peter for almost 6+ years.
So it's known. So when you say things about Peter's girlfriend, it's known that they're discussing Toni. So it's not fair to Toni because she does not have a national platform to go on. But she shouldn't have to, guys. I want to drill down on that. She should not have to explain anything because she is a private citizen. Right. So somebody says they don't have a Cash App, only Zelle. Can I send a super chat? If you don't have a Cash App, the link to the GoFundMe is actually in the description of this video. So if you would like to donate and it's in your heart to do that, definitely do that. I appreciate you, Toni.
Yes.
Toni Henderson, not Tony Scott. Toni.
And I was going to say really quickly, I thank you again for doing that. As far as my father's cancer journey, he actually just had his second brain tumor removed about 2 weeks ago, and it's been having some complications. He's still in the hospital, has to go through some rehabilitation, very expensive medications. And we're very blessed. Our family is very fortunate. My mother's an amazing caretaker. And right now it's just about being there for him throughout his healing journey. So anything helps. So thank you for that.
No problem. We already got our first. No, we got Danielle. Thank you for the Cash App. Danielle sent $20. RJ sent $10. Thank you so much for the Cash Apps. I'll be looking through that periodically.
That means a lot.
I'm really, really trying to imagine myself being a private citizen and having that be said. So
yeah,
the next question is going to be, how connected were you to her at the time that she did this?
Okay, so just a little brief backstory. We've been friends on and off since I was 18, she was 19. And over the years, she just showed that she wasn't a good friend to me. And
without a little messy. I'm sorry. I let my members ask questions. I told my members I'm going to be interviewing, and one of the questions, and this is messy.
Okay.
She's a year older than you. Are you comfortable saying how old you are?
I'm 36. Yeah, no worries. I
means that
proudly.
So Mia was telling the truth. She's 37 years old. That was one of the questions.
She could be my auntie by looks, but no, we're the same age. I'm just saying.
I was not ready.
Ain't nothing plumped or tucked or sucked over here. This is all me. Okay. Thank you, mama.
Oh my gosh. So what you're saying is you brought out a youthful side to auntie.
I did, right? I think I tried.
Okay. And we're off to the races. So
I'm ready.
So let's get a little background. So were you in high school with her or college?
No. So I was in college. One of my close male friends from high school was from Georgia, and he moved up here during high school. We got really close. One of my closest friends to this day. And his best friend had relocated from Georgia with his girlfriend, who was Mia. And we used to hang out all the time. So we just naturally, she didn't know anyone. We became friends. And we just continued our friendship throughout the years on and off. But unfortunately, like I said, she wasn't a good friend. She did things that, so when certain people have this queen bee puppet master mentality and you have a strong individual like myself, it does not mesh. And there would be certain times where when I challenged her puppet master control, she would try to go against me. And so I've had to X her out of my life on multiple occasions, and she would always crawl back. So that's pretty much the gist of our relationship. Yeah. Oh, but to answer your question, where were we at the time that this was filmed? Mm-hmm. I have not spoken to Mia during this filming, probably about 2 years. She was doing the same Mia stuff, and there was no growth. There was no evolution. And I'm a grown A-word woman. Sorry, I'm trying to catch myself. And, when I didn't conform to her ways and I saw how she hurt other people in my friend circle, I chose to just politely X her out my life. And I never said anything about her. I never did anything to try to hurt her. And when 20 years of someone's past, the good, the bad, and the super ugly. And I've never exposed her when I could. So with that being said, if I make a conscious decision to say, I don't want you in my life, just don't be in my life. That's it. So when she filmed this, we weren't talking at all. And conveniently around football season, this past season, we have mutual friends. Again, like you stated, my closest friend in the world is her sister-in-law, who they don't have a relationship. And,
I just heard her on a speakerphone. She sounds like a good time. She sounds extremely fun. If I'm in the DMV area, I'm hanging out with y'all. Or hey, Charlotte.
Yeah, we're in Charlotte. Well, I'm actually between the two right now, but yes, we're in Charlotte. So Sharon is my best friend. I love you, gay girl. And Sharon is the type that doesn't pick a side. But honey, when it came down to this and this situation, I think the people have picked a side, the ones that truly know me.
So we have Mia as a child. One of the questions from one of my subscribers was,
hilarious.
What are you looking? Don't read the comments. Do not read the comments.
Can I save this? This is good.
Definitely save it, share it. One of the comments was, and I've gotten this from a few of my members, is Mia today who she was at 18, 19?
Yes.
Really? So she's not putting on airs at all. This is how she's always been.
I can attest to that. I think Mia has been a walking reality show from the moment I met her. So I think that she is very fitting for this platform, but she has to use it correctly, and you can't lie on people like that. But yeah, she's the same person.
Somebody says they're tweeting Carlos. Tweet Carlos and let him know that he needs to do a Love and Marriage Charlotte, and you have your star right here. So many people in the comments saying, wow, Peter can really, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And intelligent. So I think that when I heard what was said on Potomac, how it registered to me was you were a wedding singer. I had no idea that you were actually a long friend, but that's how it came across on screen. Like you were an employee who was hired to sing at the wedding.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, we definitely had a friendship for several years prior to her meeting Gordon, marrying Gordon. And to go back to, was she the same person? Yes, I think she's become a bit more theatrical. I think with each procedure, the arrogance may increase, but yeah, she's definitely been the same person, and that's the unfortunate part, that she has not evolved from whatever demons have a hold of her.
Do you think that there is any reconciliation on the frontier for you all after what she said?
That's a hard never. That's a hard never. I've given her opportunity after opportunity over the course of my adulthood to give her the chance to evolve. And at this point, I'm at a place where I have peace in my life, and everyone that is in my circle, they uplift me and they love me and they support me and they are there for me. So I have that, and she doesn't. I can tell you that much. So at this point, I know without a doubt she could never fit into my world. She can't even breathe my air unless she getting cursed out.
Tony's not to be played with. Just FYI. What's strange is that, to me, as a viewer, it felt like when she said those things about you, it was literally you were collateral damage. It felt like maybe it was really about Peter and it was just something flippant to say. I think a lot of times on these reality shows, it's become they're looking for a clickable moment. They're looking for something that will make them a meme. They're looking for Google hits. And so throwing that out and that type of accusation, it's really important to say that people have lives outside of the show. And if you are making money on this show, I get it. But Tony would not be the one to mess with. I've only known Tony for 6 hours. I wouldn't want to come across Tony in a back alley if she was mad at me. Tony is not to be played with.
I tell you, you got to leave people alone that don't bother people. If I don't bother you, leave me alone, and I just don't understand. And to piggyback off what you're saying, yes, maybe I was collateral damage, but what I also know about Mia, whatever her obsession is with me, she always crawls her way back, for one. And for two, when I made a choice to not allow her in my life anymore, I think that was a way to get to poke and to try to embarrass me or hurt me or whatever the case. I knew that there was nothing but malice in doing that because she had no reason to, when she was asked a direct question and she just threw me into it when all the answer could have been was no. And thank you guys so much. I see people are donating. That means a lot. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I just want to do it very quickly because the Cash App is scrolling. RJ sent another $10 for another contribution to our sister Tony. Queen Amurazi, if I butcher your name, chalk it up to my head, not my heart. I really do apologize. She says $50 for Tony Scott. May God grant you strength. Regina Barnes sent you $25. Cheryl sent you 10. Shamika sent you 15. Crystal sent you 15. Miss Aya sent you 25. Stephanie Miller sent you 10. Black Swan says, I'm praying for you and your dad and your family.
Kind of overwhelming. Thank you so much. I wasn't expecting that. Wow.
Thank you so much, Black Swan. That was a very generous donation. Kadi says, congrats, friend, on your exclusive interview. Tony is very beautiful and a lovely lady. I called Mia on who she was from day one. Kadi does not mince words.
I co-sign everything.
Okay. So let's kind of shift gears because we know that you knew her at 18. What was the friendship like then? Like, were you guys like going to clubs together? Were you partying? Were you in school together?
No. To my knowledge, Mia didn't go to school, but we were associates. I was in college in Greensboro, and I would, even though I'm from the Charlotte area, she lived here, so I would maybe come weekends and maybe stay with her for the weekend here and there. I mean, we were just building a friendship and getting to know each other, and again, through the mutual friends that I had met her through. So I can't say it was like an all the time thing, but we definitely were friends. And over the years, we got closer. We had children. We were pregnant around the same time. Our two oldest children, well, I have two older daughters, 16 and 15, and she has a son that's 15, 16. They pretty much came up together. So yeah, we were like family in a sense.
That's strange because we were introduced to Jacqueline, another one of her friends that she knew since childhood, and her parents had taken her in. Mm-hmm. What's strange is that these very significant lifelong friendships have all been challenged within recent years, and you guys all had children around the same time, and it almost feels like, from an outsider looking in, if one person has issues with everyone around them, then maybe they are the core or the central issue.
Yeah.
Do you know her other friends?
Oh yeah, I know all of her friends from Charlotte area. Her real friends who, like I said in my post, she has single-handedly ruined their relationship with every single one of them. I still to this day have a relationship with everyone. We had like a friend circle in a sense. And, as women evolve and grow and mature, you're going to be coming to you're going to come into your own. That, queen bee, I'm, follow behind me mentality just doesn't work when you're grown. And when you have your own life and your own goals and making your own positive strides. Anytime we start to elevate or do, maybe not necessarily, we don't compete with like who's doing better, who's doing worse, but as we start to evolve, she'll try to pull us back down or tear us back down. And I've seen her do it to so many people. And those people were nothing but great friends to her, like myself. So what you guys are seeing her do to Jacqueline is what she does to everyone. That's why I say she's being herself. I didn't know.
She actually just apologized to Jacqueline in a Instagram post, which I thought was strange. I did a video on it. It feels like it's almost like publicity driven. If you know anything about the way PR works, it's the end of the season. If you want to stay having Google hits and things like that, then you continue to drum up the drama off season. Right. So if it's easy enough for you to apologize to her now that the reunion is aired, then you probably should have done it during the season. It feels almost like she was baiting this woman into a storyline. And Jacqueline seems like a really nice, actual down-to-earth lady. So I was happy to have Jacqueline on the show to kind of back Mia up. But then when I saw how Mia treated her, I was like,
I was so surprised. Well, I wasn't, but I was. I didn't think she would go that low, especially with releasing the video. Like, that was just trifling. I'm like, who does it? As many times as I've gone out with her, I've never exposed her. And it's like, honey, I am biting my tongue in half right now. So.
Have you watched Real Housewives of Atlanta ever?
Yeah, I used to watch it.
I feel like Mia was turning her friends into Sweetie, like Kim Zolciak's assistant Sweetie. That's what I was getting. Okay. And I was so glad when Jacqueline was like, she saw through it and was like, no, I'm not going to like take this anymore.
Yeah. I think it took Jacqueline long enough because after she hushed her in the car and all the other stuff, honey, it could not have been me. But I think that Mia knows how to prey on people's weaknesses. And I've always been too strong of a person for Mia. That's why because I'm not that girl, and Jacqueline, I remember Jacqueline from over the years coming around here and there, but never consistently. I think that, they were in different states and, just life, but she was always pleasant. I can't say I know her like that. But I do feel that, she's kind of just always been right there up under Mia. Mia, make sure she stays right there, or at least makes it appear. I'm not saying that she is beneath her, but Mia wants to always make the audience or the people feel that everyone's beneath her. And
that is one thing that she did. If you watch the show, she made it seem like she bought the girl's Porsche.
Let me touch on that for a second because Mia will do things for people and will throw it in your face. Who gives a darn if she gave her a deposit? That's what friends, if you're the friend that has it and you can help your friend. And it should never be spoken of because you did it from a genuine place. But she knew what she was doing and she hangs on to things to hurt you and use it against you at her convenience. Or when you don't, be a puppet, So I see someone say narcissist. And I mean, literally, in my opinion, one of the definitions of a narcissist is someone who lacks all accountability and intentionally goes out to hurt others.
I mean, side note, this is a Mimsism. Don't give anyone money that you can't afford to get back.
Okay.
Hard stop. If I loan somebody money, especially if it's like a friend, then I know that they actually needed the money and I don't expect a return.
Yeah, that's one of my things. I don't loan money. I give money. I never give. If I give you something, I don't need it back because 9 times out of 10, most people when they're in a crunch, they can't pay you back. So just to save that trouble, here, keep that, and it should never be spoken of if it's genuine, or unless you just really do something messed up or make it seem like I'm a bad person. I'm like, well, how am I so bad if I did this for you? Jacqueline didn't do that to her. And there was no reason to make it seem like, well, if I'm winning, if she ain't winning, like, girl, hush. Stop.
I said this because I review the show and I've been accused of being more logical than I am emotional. It's kind of like the like this is my channel. I'm more logical than emotional. That's what I do. I do deep dives. And one thing that I picked up on is, to me, it feels like Mia is a person who has always valued money. And now that she has access to money, she feels that people should look at her in the same way that she looked at people who had money when she didn't.
That's a good way. That's an interesting perspective. Okay.
I mean, you could tell me if I'm off with that or not.
No, you're actually spot on. I think, yeah. I guess I never looked at it quite that way. But yeah, money definitely.
You could call me Ianla.
Okay, that way. What is it? A mimsism? Is that what you call it? We gotta
a mimsism, yeah.
Mimsism. But no, I do agree with that statement, and I think that she idolizes those who have things, and it fills a void of whatever trauma, demons, as I call it, that she has. Because, you know, we all have trauma. We all know, you know, I don't know many people that's had the perfect childhood.
I definitely have not.
Yeah, and I know you kind of, you know, briefly touched on that when we spoke. And but do you use that trauma to hurt others, or do you use that trauma to change and make a difference, to be an example to those that maybe you could who have been where you have been, or maybe where you can be an example to little girls to show how to treat each other as Black women? Like you just, or if you look up to someone like Wendy so much, because clearly all that she's doing is really admiration for Wendy.
I love Dr. Wendy.
Okay,
I love Dr. Wendy.
I want to be her friend. She's my friend in my head. But and I think sometimes when you can't articulate on the level to someone else, you become threatened. And I think the accolades that I'm just using it as an example that she has is very intimidating for someone like Mia, who does not have any outside of whatever y'all want to believe she said on that show. So yes, when it comes to money and having things, I think that is what she has embodied, and that is a persona that she has embodied without real depth. The only time you really see depth is when we're talking about sex and all this extra. I'm so open. I'm so real. Yeah, because I'm a hoe. But you're not being real about real trauma and things that could actually impact someone in a positive way, you know?
Really quickly, T. Bradley says, Mims, I love your content. I'm late, but Peter's ex, would you consider yourself and Mia it girls?
What's the it girl?
T. Bradley, I don't think she considers herself anything remotely involved with Mia at this point.
Never.
I think what he meant to, or T. Bradley was saying was, you know, were you guys that girl? Were you those girls, the girls that show up at the club and everybody kind of like turns and looks like,
well,
the pretty girl gang?
From that, I've been like, who I am, the same person from day one.
Like Ashley's gang, mine is Deborah. You know, they call themselves the pretty young things.
That's corny to me. I'll hang with anybody that's genuine. I don't care about no pretty girl crew. No, I hear, and that's funny because that was corny too. I was like, girl, we're 30 and up here talking about gangs and all. No, we're not doing that. But I think that that is definitely Mia's persona, is to be an it girl, or I would say a puppet master, queen bee, whatever you want to call it. It's all up here. And she believes it with all her soul.
Thank you, T. Bradley, for the super chat. Cotty B, I see you sent me a super chat, but the language in the super chat is not appropriate for YouTube, so I will not be putting it up. Oh. And I'm talking to her like that because she's my friend in real life. Okay. John Lowe says, has Mia bleached her? Oh, I did not read this before. Has Mia bleached her skin? Her melanin was gorgeous on her wedding day, but now, child, she's unrecognizable.
No, she didn't. To my knowledge, I don't think she would need to. She's always been very high complected, but she used to tan a lot. So maybe that's why she looks so much more tan in her wedding picture. Yeah, she's an avid tanner.
It looks like they would be blessed. Would love to see you join Jackie on RHOP.
Who's Jack? Oh, Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. That might be a very interesting story. That would be better than when Kenya brought the cookie lady. In all honesty, because I mean, I don't know what I expected from Peter's ex, and we'll transition into your relationship with Peter next. I don't know what I expected. When I spoke to her, I was like, this could be one of my friends in real life. Like, you're the type of person that I hang with. So I don't know what I expected. not to say anything bad on Peter, because I know Peter has dated very gorgeous, high profile women forever. I was surprised when I saw your picture and stuff like that. I was definitely surprised. We got a couple more. It says, praying for both your parents. You know that Mia is different. I love that there's hidden shade in.
I like that. That was very cute and simple, but we got it.
Thank you, Virgin Love. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Virgin Love sent another one. Very, very generous. And Tony, you know me is jealous of any woman with beauty and brains.
Better say that again. Thank you.
Okay, and let me see if we have any more Cash Apps. Yes, we have quite a few more Cash Apps. Stephanie sent you $10, a donation for Tony Scott. Jersey Girl, one of my day ones, sent $20 for you and your father. Sugars sent you a $10 donation.
Thank you.
You guys are showing up and showing out. And if you are just joining, Tony did not know this.
I did not. This is like, this is overwhelming.
I told her I saw her Instagram, but I did not tell her on my channel, even though we can be a little messy, even though we can, be a little shady, but fair. We always, when we see something and it touches our hearts, we let each other know. And if it's something on your heart to give, we do. And so I'm scrolling my Cash App down there. Tony's father is going through surgery on his brain for cancer. I believe this is the second surgery.
Yes, he's about 2.5 weeks out from his last surgery, which was his second procedure.
Okay. I have pledged every one of my Cash Apps will go to Tony's father. I will also be making my own donation to Tony's father. If you don't have Cash App and it's on your heart to give, I have put the GoFundMe link in the description of this video. If you so choose to, or if it's on your heart, cancer is something that affects so many of us, and y'all know what I've been going through. So Tony's story touched me.
And hats off to you for being a caretaker. That is not an easy job. So I definitely have so much more, 10 times more respect for you for that. Absolutely.
If you knew what this woman has actually done for me in my own life, it wouldn't even be a question.
I hear that. Yeah.
But don't tell her I said that. I don't want her to get a big head. But I love that lady. Tony, tell us about your real estate business. I'm a realtor. Perfect segue. Before we get into Peter, your real life, who you really are.
Let's talk about that. No, I've been in hospitality for such a long time. And I took a step back because I was just ready. I've been wanting to pursue real estate since I was literally in college, and I was a working young mom, just never had the time to commit to it. And when I took a step back about 2 years ago, I went ahead and pursued real estate in North Carolina. So I am a licensed North Carolina real estate agent. Holler at me if I can assist you in any way on your real estate journey. And I'm actually in the process of relocating to the DC area. And I will be getting licensed up there by the summertime. So between DMV, North Carolina, I'm your girl.
This is her Instagram account. If you do need a realtor, definitely hit her up. She does answer DMs. Now, don't DM her anything crazy. Tony is not that girl. And she will let you know.
I will tell you the truth now. I have an amazing support team. Even though I'm a newer agent, I have mentors that's been doing this for 25 years, whether it's commercial, residential, whatever I don't know, I can direct you to the right person. So let me know.
So thank you, Paige, for the super chat. I'm showing you guys Tony's Instagram. So definitely check her out. She posts. She's a very attractive lady. So do not send her anything crazy. I'm telling you, do not send her anything.
That's why I don't even put my children on there, unfortunately. It's some weirdos. They're teenage girls. I don't even put them on my page. So please, no.
But definitely follow her. And if you have any real estate, there was another business that you're a part of. Can you kind of explain that and then segue into how you met Peter?
Okay, yeah, I am a serial entrepreneur. I think the young mother, and I'll use my father. He really instilled entrepreneurship in me. And I started a holistic feminine care line. It's called J Garden Wellness, and it basically is a product that balances women's pH naturally overnight. So it takes care of pretty much any imbalance that is not like STD related. So if you, Jade Garden Wellness is the website. I have an amazing product. I'm actually at my girlfriend's house who helped inspire me to start this business. And I let her try my product before, and she tried it, and she's like, "Girl, what'd you say, Toya?" She's like, "I don't know what you put in these miracle coochie capsules, but they work, okay?" So she's like, "You need to start a business." So I'm like, "You know what? I am, because I've been making them since college. Like, I don't do all that extra doctors, like, unnecessary things. Let's fix this naturally."
Where can they find it, Tony?
jadegardenwellness.com.
And it's also on your Instagram and your link tree, correct?
It is. Yes, it is.
Okay. So definitely follow Tony. I shared it. She is the Tony Scott. You guys saw the image. We're giving you guys a exclusive, and I don't even have 500 likes. We have 1,500 people in here, and I only have 400 likes. So I think the like goal should be at least 1,000.
Yeah,
it's a free way to support the channel.
Yes. We're giving you exclusive tea here. We need some likes.
Right, because we're about to get into Peter. Tony says, "I'm loving you, Tony. Your realness is refreshing. I'm so glad you let that friendship go. You could definitely be someone I want to be friends with. So glad you got rid of the trash in your life.
It's in the dumpster. Take it out." And I love your name, Tony.
Fifi says, "Mims, at Tony, you picked the right channel."
I know, right?
We see each other. All right, Fifi. We got a couple more before we move on to Peter. Succeeding to, thanks for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Pretty Black Girl. Tony, now that you've been introduced to the public, could you see yourself doing reality television?
Okay, so to be honest, over even the course of my relationship, I stay private. I stay in the background. I've always had a big personality. I'm just private, and I don't think that I was at a place with myself where I was ready for that to be thrown out there. I feel like you have to be really strong and solid in who you are. And I would say, like, in the last year or so, couple years, I've been at that place where I'm very unbothered with what anyone would maybe try to throw out at me. I've owned who I am. So to answer your question, I am at a place where I'm open to that. Yeah.
I would Carlos. I would love to see Tony. I mean, she's moving to DMV. Maybe this is a good cast for the DC cast.
And what's interesting, you say that. I've actually made some great connections with some of the cast members, just being in the industry that I'm in hospitality. And I've met a few of those cast members, and they're great people. Yeah.
Carlos. Tony wants you to know she sent her money direct to the GoFundMe.
Thank you so much, Tony.
I appreciate that. Cotty did a do-over. Can't trust a woman who can't tell the difference between
red button and blank hole. Wait, what does that mean?
I don't know I don't want to know what you're saying, Cotty. Thank you for the super chat. Chauncey says, "Be blessed." Thank you, Chauncey B.
Thank you.
Then this is the last one before we go into Peter. Miss Mac, thank you so much. She says, "As someone who was a caretaker for over 10 years for my mother who had MS, I applaud you both for picking up that mantle. It is not easy, but know you will be blessed for it." Thank you so much, Miss Mac.
Miss Mac.
I appreciate that. So let's move on to you and Peter. You said it was like 6 years that you all dated?
Yes.
What was that like? Because when you see somebody on television, you kind of have an idea in your mind. You are very young. So 6 years ago, you were like late 20s, early 30s.
I was 29 when we started dating. Mm-hmm.
How did that start? Can you give us some info that way?
Honestly, I didn't really like him at first. I thought he was a jerk. But we just, connected naturally. I was coming out of a bad relationship. He was coming out of his situation, and we literally were just there for each other and organically created what turned into a relationship. I definitely didn't see it coming. I've never been the type to date a person who's in the limelight, spotlight. I'm not that girl. I don't date athletes, artists, none of that. But it just happened. I've always had a thing. I do like more mature men. I do. and he doesn't act his age at all, which was kind of attractive to me. So I think it just naturally happened, and next thing you knew, we were together.
Like a real relationship.
Yeah.
She did say very positive things about Peter.
Until the other day, you saw that.
Well, no. What did you say the other day?
When they were going back and forth, you didn't see the exchange.
No, I'm talking about you. You said positive. I mean,
I thought you
didn't hear.
said someone else said positive things.
No. I'm talking about you in terms of your relationship with Peter. Even though you're no longer together, was it like an amicable split?
Yeah, listen. I wasn't, we weren't in a good place for a while, and I think sometimes out of loyalty or this codependency, you stay together longer than you probably should have. So yeah, it's definitely amicable. I have nothing but respect for Peter. We've been through a lot together over the years, and I just want to see him happy, and I believe he wants the same for me. So yeah, it's really.
I mean, they call Peter Patricia if you nasty, because he's staying women business, as Nene said. But I think the point is Peter is a businessman, and I think that he understood that the amount of publicity that he could get on these shows, interjecting into conversations, became something very viable for his company. Is that fair to say? Because you're in that industry.
Yeah, I think his appearances can be viable for the company. I don't necessarily think that it takes certain methods to get the same exposure, but that's just me. I've always tried to give him my opinion, but he's going to kind of do what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. And I just had to respect that. But so I can't say I agree with the methods, but I definitely think that the platform was necessary to, advance the businesses and get it more exposure. You can never have too much exposure. So.
Okay. Did you ever work for did you work for his company or his businesses?
Yeah. I actually opened up his Miami location. Again, I've been in the industry for about 20 years. So I worked for him for the whole time, and I felt overwhelmed a lot of that time. Yeah. Just with dealing with some of the issues that he maybe have going on. It did ultimately affect me in business and personally because I'm the one there supporting you. So, yeah, I'm sure everybody has their own opinions about him as far as business. Ultimately, the man has a vision and he executes it and he makes it happen. I think that he just has to figure out the best method for him to, keep them sustained as he continues to grow. Yeah.
That last part was very Miss America. You got to remember, on top, part of the reason that we're doing this interview is because Tony is a self-made entrepreneur. So when you have situations on national television that cast her in such a negative light, it's important that she be able to speak out and let you guys know she's actually an intellectual woman who has worked her way up to get the respect that she has in the business world. She's a restaurateur. She actually explained specifically what you do for restaurants.
So I started my restaurant consulting and rebranding company last year, which is how I ended up in DC. I got my first contract there, and I'm working on 2 others now. So it's really just taken off since I had to take a leap of faith. I was just tired of working for people. And, I've done everything. I've served, I've bartended, I used to guest bartend everywhere back in my younger years. And I just really made a name for myself in the city that I'm from, Charlotte. And yeah, so for me, my ultimate goal was ownership. And I figured this was like the next step to that. And so I'm just thankful that I trusted my gut and I, separated myself from anyone else's businesses and just really made a name for myself, because for years I was attached to a brand and to a company that where sometimes it didn't always benefit me. A lot of times.
I just continuously put myself in your shoes. So we have Peter. That relationship ended. Was there a point where Mia tried to explain to you what was coming down the pike on this show?
Okay, yes. So again, we hadn't spoken, for at least 2 to 3 years prior to her getting on the show. And this stuff was probably filmed last summer.
Hold on, really quickly, Tony, before you answer that. Okay. I only have 600 likes. We have 1,500 people watching us live. Those numbers aren't numbering.
All this free tea, and we can't get a like. Come on, y'all.
Thank you, Tony. So before you answer that question, hold on to that one. We'll we'll go through because you got some very major cash apps. Aww. Y'all hit that like button. I'm not playing. We got Deborah and Randall sent you $10. Nicole Phillips sent you $15. Rashawn Bryant sent you $100 and said, "God bless you and your family." Kimberly B sent you $25. Yes. Brandon Burke sent you $10, and L'Oreal Rogers sent you $20.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Wow.
Let's see. Now, hold on. Let me look at these likes because this really isn't exclusive. So let's see. We're at 700. Let's get to 1,000. Okay, please continue, Tony.
Wait, where was I? What was the question? Hold on.
Wait, what was the question? They threw me off not liking this video. We're giving you tea. We were talking about.
Oh goodness, it was about to be good.
Well, my bad for interrupting you, but we do need the likes.
We do need the likes anyway, so maybe it's the Lord making y'all wait.
Put in the comments, where were we at? My subscriber. My subscribers don't play. We had talked about your business prowess. We talked about.
Oh, my girlfriend's telling me. Where were we? Oh, you asked it. Mia tried to give me a heads.
Yes, and I told you my subscribers stay down. Like your girlfriend.
I need to do a quick shameless plug to my girlfriend, who is like an ultimate makeup artist here in Charlotte, Diva Monroe on Instagram, Deeva Monroe. Okay, look her up. She's amazing. Just want to, if you're ever in North Carolina, holler at her.
Spell it again.
Deeva, Diva Monroe. Y'all can spell Monroe.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so yeah, did Mia give you a heads up? Then my subscribers are not playing; they're actually upset.
I know that's right. Get on. I see.
They keep me in check.
Yes. So, yeah. Again, at the time we weren't speaking. Hadn't been speaking for a couple years, and conveniently around. And again, this was filmed back over the summer. So around football season, August, September-ish. Again, I'm best friends with her sister-in-law. I am, oh, he put you on the page, friend. Okay, Diva Monroe, that's her.
Definitely check out Diva Monroe on Insta. Okay.
Thank you. And yes, so again, we're in the same friend circle. They would always give us like my friends give us free tickets all the time they have season passes. So yeah. So I'm going to a game, meeting up with my best friend, who's her sister-in-law, unfortunately. And they were communicating. And when she found out that I was there, she invited me to come up to their box suite. I wasn't turning down the box suite. So I sucked it up. I put on my phony smile and I went over to I went up there and I kept it cute. I don't have an issue with her. I just don't want you in my life. And so I played the role. And she immediately, like almost instantly, wanted to talk about the show. So she kept saying, "Oh, I didn't know you and Peter weren't together." She didn't know because obviously we weren't friends. And and she kept making that reference all the time. And I'm like, why do you care if we're together or not? And then it all made sense, throughout watching the season. So she definitely tried to give me a heads up that, the cast members were attacking her, and she just threw this stuff out there about me in defense. And I remember saying to her, like, don't have me looking crazy on TV because, I can let you do your thing. I get it. You got to make good TV. But, I have children and a family. Don't have me looking crazy. She's like, "You're not going to look crazy. I was just defending myself and blah, blah, blah." So I'm in DC working at my contract, and she called me because they had the footage like a day before it aired. And she's like, "Well, I was calling to give you a heads up and to let you know how the scene went." And she gave me this whole roundabout story about this scene. And then when I see the scene, it was nothing like what she said. And so I'm just like, girl, if you're going to give me a heads up to save face, at least tell the truth. And,
which is a problem for her.
Which is a major problem. So, and I could respect her to this day a bit more if she just owned what she did, owned that you were wrong, owned that you did it from a place of malice. And then maybe I can give you an ounce of respect, but you lied on me. You lie on so many others. It's just like, I can't do anything with that at this point. So that's pretty much the heads that I was given.
So basically, she tried to smooth it over prior to you seeing the scene. And then once you saw the scene, you were like, that's BS.
Yeah.
What she did to her in that scene, this, again, I can't stress this enough. This was a private citizen. This was somebody who was literally just walking down the street and somebody took out their pea shooter and got her for no reason, because they weren't enemies. They were friends. They just weren't like communicating. They weren't talking per se.
But we weren't enemies.
There was nothing there. You know? They weren't enemies. They were former friends.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the things that have been said that you actually might have some background on. So when Mia came onto the show, she asserted that she was a boss and a CEO.
You gotta make me choke.
I mean, just as a because I'm a super fan, so I'm pretty well versed on what was said. She said she was a boss. She said she was the CEO. She said she was the only woman in the boardroom. And that her businesses were hers and Gordon's. Do you have any information on that, being that you are so close to the family?
Whoever owns the business and that particular business, I don't have much knowledge of. I thought it was a her and her husband's business. But I've been told different things as it relates to that. But what I do know is that she's failed multiple businesses. And I think that it's important to...
Failed?
Failed, yes. Multiple businesses. And I think
she said it with a straight face.
Yeah, it's just like, it's mind-boggling when you're here with people that's been around forever from the beginning and seen, and for me, ultimately, if you're a boss, be a boss. Real bosses don't say, hey, I'm the boss. They show it in their actions and how they uplift people and how they employ people like myself. So it's like I don't even know what context she considers herself to be a boss.
Well, we learned because I keep my ear to the streets. My mantra is the streets talk and the curbs listen, and I'm the curb. She initially said that she was the CEO, and then it kind of changed to she was, I don't know, like an employee that was paid about $400,000 or $500,000 a year, but there was a governing body that consisted of G, his brother, and one other person that they brought on, and which she attempted to, because the girls were laughing at her, which I didn't actually like. I'll just be honest. I didn't.
I only liked it because it was petty, but I didn't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you technically have to have a viable business to laugh at the next person. So if your stuff has been liquidated, like, what are you laughing at? In all honesty, and you're questioning things. Sorry, tangent. The point that she was trying to make was they brought on a third person, and that third person finished the governing body of the business. And the third person chose to basically fire her, and they took control, is what I got from what she said. So then if it's like, if you're the CEO, how can there be a governing board that could remove you? Like, wouldn't you be the third member brought on to it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was also, some of the stories were crazy. So from your vantage point, you're saying that it was her and G's business solely, not the brothers.
Well, no, I'll be honest. I know that they started the joint. I didn't hear anything about a joint until they got involved. So
Mia and
her husband.
Okay.
So I don't know the ins and outs. There are other relatives that I know I've met, but I don't know where they fit into that equation. But from what you were saying, it did sound like, there were different members. In my businesses, I own 100% of them. I'm the only member, so I don't know. I just can't relate. But I will say that it's a family. This is a family business. It's something this is supposed to be the generational wealth that you're leaving to your children. And it's very unfortunate that they are on the outs right now and that they're even in this situation. I think that it could have been done a lot more tasteful. I think that you have to have a certain sense of loyalty when it comes to your family, where you just don't cross certain boundaries. And it makes it very difficult to move forward when a person uses their platform to try to, hurt. Ultimately, you're hurting yourself because you're hurting the whole business and your family members who are affiliated with that business. So I just don't, I don't know the details, but I know that if it weren't for their family, they would not have the joint.
That's kind of what it sounded like. I mean, when I read the mission statement of the joint, it said that it was something that Gordon and his brother had gotten into together. It's important to say that Tony is here to just talk about the truth. I know a lot of people were like, oh, it's not her business. If Tony is saying that, then, that kind of, it is what it is. Mims, play your intro and take a commercial break until we get the likes up. I'm not going to play my intro. I do have a really funny intro. I do have a funny intro. Let me see where our likes are first. Likes are important because we're not even at 1,000. Okay, I will be playing the intro because we have some more tea to drop.
Make it make sense. Could somebody please make it make sense?
Big Mims! Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
She lied, and I should have known better when I seen her hair.
I got a feeling.
Who made that? I wasn't here.
Me. Oh, well, I had a friend of mine. He owns a
the beat.
blog.
The beat was hitting a little bit. I'm like, okay.
My intro has kind of become my thing.
I love it.
So yeah, we need to get to at least 1,000 likes because we're dropping like real tea. So thank you so much. Be blessed. We got a couple more, and I think we have a couple more cash apps as well. Chani, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says, Tony, I love that you're keeping it cute. Me, right. She would be outed. Mia did too much. I applauded you. Classy, not nasty. Go, girl.
I'm trying, honey. Thank you because I'm holding it in. My mama raised me right.
It says, if G divorced Mia, would the family bring him back into the fold financially?
Yeah, I can't quite answer that, but I hope so. I think Mia has been the downfall of a lot of people, including those that are the closest to him or to her, which would be.
It's important to say that Tony is so close to the situation because it's her best friend. So the family is.
Yeah, my best friend to her brother, not me as my best friend.
Well, yes. So it's important to note that because Tony, she's a smart girl. She's not trying to play into any family feud that would make things worse.
Right.
And I have heard her best friend, and her best friend also doesn't play. If you think Tony is with the shit, her best friend is exponentially more with the shits. I've heard her.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
and just to
mention something about mental health.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. No, honestly, I know a lot more than I will say just out of respect because I'm not a grimy person. But I do think they need to take their mental health more seriously. I think if she used this platform properly, her and her husband.
You're talking about Mia and Gordon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Mia and Gordon.
Okay.
And I think if they use this platform the right way, they could really inspire people, because mental health is real. So I'm not trying to, like make it seem or downplay it or make it funny. It's not funny. If you just pay attention and if you got an ounce of sense and you have a strong mind, you can see that there are some mental health issues here on this show. And as it relates to her. And if you don't see that, then maybe you should evaluate your own mental health.
Let me go ahead and put allegedly. All allegedly.
Just all allegedly, because I don't. Well, some of it is.
we'll say allegedly. Toni is she is an insider, and when we started this interview, I let her know that there would be things that I would want to ask. What?
Somebody knows some stuff. Who is succeeding?
What happened? What are you looking at?
I know some things, honey. Interesting.
Oh,
okay.
G and Mia own misogyny franchises, right? And G McDonald's franchises. Well, that is what Mia said on the show, right? She owned misogynies.
Oh, did she? Oh, okay. Did she mention McDonald's too?
G owned McDonald's prior to the joint, is what I've heard.
Okay, but they didn't say
I heard that G was a pretty prominent businessman. So knowing Mia before she got with someone who was as financially stable as G, did anything change in her personality after she became a wealthy woman?
Yes and no. I think that it only intensified who she really was or is. And it showed Mia has multiple sides. She can be like an angel sometimes and very generous and loving and caring, but Mia also will use whatever she's done for you against you when it benefits her. And she's been that way before G, and even more so after G, because she actually had the means to, dangle things. I'm one of the few people in her life that I've never asked her for anything. I was a broke friend, and I was helping her unpack her $1 million home. Proud of her, like, my girl, I got her one. Let's go, friend. And it's like, so it's almost like, because every time I saw her do something for someone, she threw it back in their face, and it's hurtful. So oh, they shaded. Oh, Lordy.
Well, she's open and honest about that. So it's, this isn't conjecture. She was
let's be clear. She was not open and honest initially until it was exposed, and then she owned it. She never said she was with a married man initially. She said they met doing a charity event. She didn't say she met him at the strip club. She said it was a charity event. So if you're don't just own the things that you think the audience want to hear, own the real stuff, and maybe people won't be so quick to attack you because you're not giving us the real, baby. Like, be real.
I was not expecting that. P-Dog. My subscribers don't play. My subscribers definitely tell it like it is. Irma Singh says, chiropractors, doctors, and nurses don't work for free, cheap. I'm a nurse. During the we can't say that word. The medical staff cost went up legally. They may not have been able to afford to pay their staff and probably lost customers.
For which business? Oh, for the joint? Yeah, I have no knowledge of that. But thank you so much, Irma Singh. Yeah,
I appreciate that, Irma. Let's before we go, let's drill down, because you have a long-standing friendship. We can see a pattern also with Jacqueline. Prior to you just saying, I don't want to be friends with this woman, was there any bad blood? Was there anything in particular that led you down the path of, I want to separate myself from Mia?
Oh,
not absolutely. Fight, but separate.
Yeah. I've never argued with her, but yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to remember because I've cut her off so many times. The last time, Toya, what did she do, Toya? What happened? Last time I cut me off. I'm trying to remember what it was for. I've always had to cut her off for something. Oh, wait. What was it? I can't remember. I just know that
I wasn't really talking for a while.
You said it was like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's like over 2 years ago, maybe going on probably 3-ish. I can't remember. Oh, wait, it was a lot of drama surrounding like other mutual friends, and without getting too in depth, when you intentionally do things that hurt people that I care about, I'm that friend that picks sides. Okay, you're wrong, and she's not, and if you make it right, or I'm not gonna fool with you, because if you'll do it to her, you'll do it to me. And I didn't like how she always.
People show you who they are, believe them. That was.
And I didn't like how she would literally, it's like, you met Peter through me. We gladly introduced you to the producers, invited you to grand opening in Miami, where we knew that you were so thirsty for this stuff that we were like, here they are, go get them. Instead of her going out to dinner with us, with me and all my friends and things, she's out with the producer she just met at his girlfriend's birthday, singing happy birthday to a stranger. Like, the thirst was real. And we knew she wanted it. So here, I'm glad she made the most of it and got what she wanted from it. However,
you introduced her to Peter, not G?
Neither Mia or Gordon knew Peter personally until Mia came crawling back and apologizing for my friendship again, conveniently around the time Peter and I became public. And I should have known better, but like I said, I'm stuck with her. I'm in the same friend circle. So yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. Can I call? Can I meet you at the bar? And she used to come up there all the time. They did support, they would come to every opening we had. I opened up a club in Charlotte with him. We opened up Bar One Miami. Every event, I would invite everyone. We've never traveled together. You came to Miami to support the grand opening.
You don't know that you just dropped some tea. The way that it was presented on the show was that Gordon and Peter were old friends. At no point did we, the audience, think that you introduced them to Peter.
Gordon owned McDonald's. Peter don't eat McDonald's. I was trying to hold that straight face.
I told her, I was like, I'm gonna warn you, when we talk, it's gonna be like old friends talking and laughing and a conversation. Yeah. Well, Gordon also alleged that he loaned Peter $60,000.
That's a lie. It's a lie. I don't even know where that came from. Unless they did something I didn't know about, I'm almost 1,000% certain that never happened. I know everyone Peter ever had to loan money from throughout the course of our relationship. And I'm shocked that he would even say that. I don't know if there was reference or conversation or anything, but he never loaned Peter money. I don't know what teleprompter he was reading off of, but they should have put more facts on there, because that's not true.
So you did see that. You did see that where he did.
I did. And although, Peter and I don't communicate like that, I'm not going to stand for a lie. And for you to say all the things he was saying, the only reason he held her baby is because we were invited over and she just had the baby. Who doesn't hold a newborn? Like it wasn't that deep as he was trying to make it. Y'all were never friends. You opened us to your home because you were thirsty and you wanted the association of Peter. That's it. Everything was a calculated stepping stone to get on a show. So Peter can keep it cute and classy. And I'm going to keep it cute and classy too, but I'm going to I'm going to give you the facts, because we never benefited from knowing them whatsoever. But did they benefit from knowing us? Absolutely. Yeah, we would have Halloween parties, and
the fact that you can give us behind the scenes from things that are presented to us is absolutely everything. I would have assumed that Peter and G were old friends, and I would never have assumed that they met through you.
And I never even tried to prove that. I let her have that. But what really got under my skin, back to your initial question, when we were friends and we did invite them places, it was just her thirst over Peter was just weird to me. My girlfriend said weird. Everything was just, oh, my brother. We're family. We're this. And I'm looking like, bitch, I know you since I was 18. You ain't never called me sister so much. It was just like, what are you doing? And
so you felt like she was putting on airs, basically.
Oh my gosh. It was just, she wanted the association so bad. Now they call her a friend of the network through Peter. Okay.
I mean, but it did. So do you think that Peter played a role in getting her on the show?
Well, I'm going to say yes, in a sense, because again, when we invited her to the grand opening in Miami, where it was hosted by, I believe, Nene Leakes and obviously some producers were there. Yeah, we made a point to introduce her. I remember walking her over to introduce her to certain people. So, and we knew, like I said in my, I don't know if you saw my story, but we knew that her thirst for fame was going to carry her all the way through to the finish line. So we let her take it from there, and she did. She ditched us for dinner to go have dinner with the producer and his girlfriend that she's never met before, blowing out candles and stuff. Like, girl, if that's not thirst.
Okay. Danielle is one of my day ones, and she keeps her ear to the streets in the DMV. She says, were you on Say Yes to the Dress with Mia for her wedding?
No. So I was not in Mia's wedding as a bridesmaid or anything. I just sang while she walked down the aisle. Yeah.
Oh, good point. She was the way that Tony was portrayed on the show, even for that short amount of time, to me, it felt like they were saying Tony was like an employee, like she was just a wedding singer. This was Mia's longstanding friend. I'm glad that you brought that up, Danielle, because that was on our notes to discuss. Her portrayal was definitely like, oh, the wedding singer, when in actuality.
Yeah, she's taking my wedding. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, charity event, ball gown dancing, stripping, event coordinator, all while serving steaks. That's Mia.
Oh.
Thank you, Kadi's on fire tonight.
She is.
Victory, thank you so much for the super sticker. And Black Swan, do you think that Mia is really on a spiritual journey? After this season, the destruction Mia created, will we see change?
Ooh, heck. Can I say hell? Okay. Hell no. Ain't no spiritual darn journey. You have to, okay, let me just say this. Even if you made some mistakes throughout the season, okay, fine. She gave Wendy a genuine apology on camera. But when Wendy on the reunion opened up her heart and said, and was emotional, choking up about how what she did really hurt her and damaged her a bit, to have no remorse and then to follow that up with a lie, shows that there's no spiritual journey. That was just filmed maybe a month ago, and you ain't catch a journey that quick. No. And I just don't, I think it would take some intense therapy, some intense self accountability, and some intense, maybe some church sermons to get her on any sort of journey, spiritual journey.
Okay. We have a couple more questions and then I'm going to let you go, but I kind of am loving the fact that you watch the show.
Oh yeah. I like the show for her. Yeah, it's a good show.
I'm tempted to invite you to my after show. I do an after show, right? Like 30 minutes after the show on Sundays.
Okay.
Maybe we'll talk offline, but this is me officially inviting Tony if she wants to review the last episode of Potomac with me this Sunday. Absolutely. Y'all let her know in the chat if you want. Princess AV, thank you so much. She sent you $5.
Thank you.
She said, and I quote, "Don't send me back to the club with Stevie." Jocelyn Hernandez quote.
Oh Lordy.
Shakira sent you $20 as well.
Thank you.
So for those of you guys who don't know, why do I have my Instagram up? It should be my Cash App. I pledge that all Cash Apps today from this show will go to Tony's father, who is battling cancer and is on his second brain surgery. So if you send me a Cash App, just know I will be Cash Apping it directly to Tony. I'm not even going to put it on her GoFundMe because GoFundMe takes a percentage of the proceeds. I've also linked her GoFundMe to the description of this video. So if you have it in your heart to donate to a cancer,
thank you.
Somebody battling cancer, definitely do that. On this channel, we like to do things like that because we've all experienced it in some way or form in our lives. We got a couple more super chats. Tony says, "Woo child, this is some good old piping hot tea."
Good.
Irma Singh says, "How does G's family feel about Mia? Do they like her for breaking up?" Oh my god. When somebody sends a super chat, you have to acknowledge it. You don't have to answer every aspect of this because there are family dynamics that you can answer whatever you want. She says, "Do they like her for breaking up G's family? Might explain why they kicked her out. Didn't like her to begin with." As you guys know, if you aren't familiar with the story, Mia she had like a $400,000 to $500,000 salary per year, and one day they just decided, the governing body, that she would no longer be a part of the joint chiropractic, and that last week would be her last paycheck. Is there any of this that you want to talk to or speak to?
I know some of G's family. I'm very close to my best friend and her husband, who's G's brother. And so with respect to them, and Ronnie, who is my best friend's or Gordon's brother, my best friend's husband, has been nothing but supportive of Gordon and Mia, and has never said a negative thing about Mia because he just wanted to see his brother happy. And but I can say that other close friends of his, were definitely surprised, and definitely, I remember one in particular came to see me at work just to vent to me. He didn't even know me like that but he knew that we were friends. About
surprised about what?
About his concern was, I just hope this woman don't take my man for everything he has.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the most I can say as far as that. I don't know about other relatives at all.
That's fair. Paige says, "Tony, how did you feel about Mia?" Oh. Did you feel? Thank you, Paige. Thank you, Irma, for the super chat. Did you feel? I'll tell you this. I felt uncomfortable watching scenes with Mia and her mother, just because it felt like she was being forced to relive things, and Mia was asking her questions about her sobriety and things that went on for her childhood, but it felt like it was for the cameras. Did you echo any of those sentiments? Do you know her mother?
I have not met her mother. At the time that we were at our closest, they didn't have much of a relationship. I think, like she's spoken on the show, her mother was incarcerated. But Mia has said a lot about her mother to all of her friends. And she said things that I would never repeat, because even if they were true, you don't say that about the woman that birthed you. And unfortunately, she said a lot of things in relation to her father, who is no longer with us. So it's a lot of things being done for camera, for ratings, for a storyline. But it's the unfortunate part is that you're not being authentic. Even those scenes to me weren't giving authentic. It was just like, I want to her mom looked surprised that she was kind of cornering her like that. And I'm almost certain that maybe, why wouldn't this conversation take place first off camera? And then maybe you can kind of relive it, like, Mom, we talked about this. Or there's just a more tasteful way that it could have been done out of respect for the woman that gave you life.
They're asking if the story of her being a foster kid was true. Tita already verified that she was fostered by Jacqueline's parents when she was in high school.
Okay, so I know her godmother as well. She lives in Georgia, and I was told something a little bit differently. Now, but I didn't meet her until she was 8 or 19 years old. Mm-hmm. If she did go through any fostering system,
not necessarily a system, but Tita and Jacqueline's mother did take her in while she was, I want to say maybe like a sophomore in high school. I don't know if it was technically a foster system, but if you don't have either of your parents due to their own issues, it was like a foster care.
And I know the woman that she lived with in Georgia before or after then, I'm not sure. And has definitely given us some true insight to who she was back then. And a lot of the things happen with kids. If you have a family member, a godmother, someone that's like an auntie take you in, you don't, I know real people who were fostered. I don't like how she plays up on I was fostered and that whole role. When you were loved, you were treated well. You didn't go through half the things that real foster children go through who are in random homes or random strangers. So, I'm not really convinced of the whole. A lot of things are for sympathy, and it's like I can be a big bully, but I'm gonna tell you this about me so that you can empathize. Like, no, I'm not here for it.
We got a couple more. Before I get to this question, there was an allegation that Portia made about Peter. She said that he was paying his waitresses in penis. As somebody who was a restaurateur, somebody who works on a rebrand, how is there some liability that someone should take for saying things like that could impact someone's business? Y'all remember?
Yeah. And to my knowledge, I don't know anything like that to be true. Peter, I never know of him dealing with any employees. That's his business, if so, but I never knew of it. And I think that it would have gotten back to me at some point over the course of those years. And absolutely, it can impact your business. You do not date your staff. And sometimes exceptions can be made. However, yeah, as far as paying your employees in D, that's just petty. I think she was just looking for a clap back in that moment. I don't think she really meant that.
Okay, that's just me being silly. We answered this question. Somebody's asking, have you spoken to Mia? Obviously not. She said she spoke to Mia at the last time. Mia invited her to some football game where she had like really great seats, and that was it. And she tried to soften the blow of what was to come on RHOP.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say peanuts. I said the P word, the D. Portia said to Cynthia, ask Peter how he's paying his waitresses. It's in penis. That's what she said, not me.
She didn't say that. That was a classic one.
So, okay, so we've pretty much gotten the timeline. So is there anything that you wanted to get get across? Because this is your interview. This is really somebody who I saw who was adversely affected by horrendous. I feel like it was almost an attack on you.
It was. It definitely.
What do you want to get off your chest? The floor is yours.
Honestly, I am at peace with everything. I'm one of those people that, you can't tell me about me. And I think it's important to also show that you can be shady and get good ratings. Everybody's liking these ratings, we're getting likes and all this stuff without trying to hurt people.
We're not getting enough likes for the amount of tea we're dropping, but okay, Tony.
Hey, likes, please. We're like, can you like it more than once? No, but and it's unfortunate. Thankfully, I have a strong unit around me. I am covered. I'm protected. My steps are ordered. Like there's nothing that a Mia Fields Thornton could ever say to damage me ever. I own everything about myself. So whatever she may try to clap back with, honey, my back pocket is full, both of them. So I'm the last one that I think she should ever cross ever again. And that's just the message. Leave Tony alone. If I'm not bothering you or speaking on you, don't speak on me. And that's that.
So Tony, they're asking where you live now. She is a dual resident of North Carolina and the DMV. So whenever I go to DMV, I will be hanging out with Tony.
Please do. I can't wait.
They're saying they want you on the show. So Deb had a good question. He said, what were like some good attributes about Mia?
Well, the thing is, she has many good attributes. She's fun. She's a big personality. I remember having great times with her, hanging out, going out, drinking, just being young. We had great times, but unfortunately the good always gets overshadowed by the evil side. And then you forget about all the good when you've dealt with more of the not so good side over and over again. So,
we got another Cash App from Crystal. for your father.
Thank you.
Let me see if there's like a running total so far. What we got in Cash App so far. Again, the Cash App is scrolling because her father is battling cancer. He's on his second brain surgery. And I pledged that whatever Cash Apps I got would go directly to Tony. So far we've gotten $485 in Cash Apps.
That's amazing. Thank you guys so much. I did not expect that. Thank you so much, Mims. That means a lot to our family, so we appreciate it.
No, I mean, my subscribers, we are a big, dysfunctional, sometimes a little messy family, but at the core of that, we are a family. And we're gonna do some really big things. I was telling Tony a little bit about an initiative that I want to do. My goal at the end of this year is to either go to a cancer center, children's cancer center, or a home for battered and abused women who have children. And I want each child to have a toy. It's a lofty goal, but I feel like it's something that I will be able to do. My subscribers like mess, but we love people and we love to help out whenever we can. And that's just that.
That's honestly something that truly sets you apart. So hats off to you for that. For sure.
Thank you. Bridget says, would you appear on a reality show? How did you feel about the scene with how did you feel about Mia throwing water on Wendy?
Yeah, it was disgusting. There's no reason. It's almost like you're reenacting something you saw on a reality show 10 years ago, and you really trying, like you always wanted to do that too. Like, girl, you had no reason to do that. And I think it just showed, again, her true colors. And it set a horrible example. You know, she has a little girl, and I have 2 daughters. I couldn't imagine. Like, for me to get physical in any instance, it's going to be out of defending myself, not to attack a person. And that's where I think she really went wrong. What
if she would have like thrown that drink on Rob the Builder?
Oh yeah, her. Yeah,
you don't have to answer that. That's me being a fool.
Over.
Is there anything else before we close out that you wanted to say? Because I think we did a pretty thorough job.
This is good. And I accept your invite for Sunday. Definitely enjoy talking with you. And thank you again for the opportunity. Yeah.
So we will have her here on Sunday. I go live 30 minutes after the show, reviewing the show. Have you watched the reunion yet?
Yes, I have. And let me just say this last thing. This is what gets me, right? Again, I'm not advocating for Peter. He's a grown man. But for these people to talk to him as though y'all were on the same level, like you got the same skin in the game in this reality world, you don't. I think that somebody's petty.
What did they say?
They said I'm bi-coastal. Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, it's disrespectful, and I take my hat off to Peter for handling it with grace as he has, because to comfort someone who's afforded you this opportunity, it's like, don't bite the hand that's ultimately feeding you, because you need this food. You need this plate.
Oh, you want to see what I wore to the reunion?
Oh, you went? Wait, look at this shit. Recreated just. Can you send me that? Please send me that.
Can I have it? It's like a bodysuit. You could have it.
Can I fit it? I'll show her how to wear that.
That's what you never know what you're gonna get from one of my reviews. Queen says, wow. So what'd you say?
Did you really make that?
No, I mean, I'm connected. We'll just say that. I also did Giselle's outfit from the year before.
I thought you had better taste, but I'm gonna let you have that.
It was only $5. So.
Yeah, that part. Okay.
It says, wow, so Tony is bi-coastal. Anyway, I hope my Cash App helps your dad in any way, shape, or form. Send him big hugs. Thank you, Queen.
Definitely helps so much. Thank you, Queen.
Confessions of a Reality Queen, just showing some love. Side note, I will pop up anywhere on YouTube, and I found her, and she was doing a SCX talk, and I just trolled the whole time. Like, so, Confessions of a Reality Queen, that's what she does. Okay, it's called The Locker Room. You would never expect it. Yeah. Okay. And the last one, Be Blessed says, Mims, if possible, and you're up for it, do a DMV related live with Tony and DJ Richie and review some DMV shows every once in a while. Tony, it looks like you're my unofficial co-host. The people are loving you.
I'm feeling real co-host like. Okay, count me in.
No, but Sunday, guys, Tony will be here. She gave us her word. So love DJ Richie.
Yes, thank
you. The DMV shows. Carlos, we've already told you we need Tony on the next season. Or Eric. Eric, here's your Eric. Eric is the executive producer for Potomac.
Oh,
so y'all let him know. Florence sent you $5 as well. So
thank you, Florence.
I don't know if they did it through the Cash App or if people actually went to the GoFundMe page. Either way,
we will take it. Thank you. Thank you.
It is you will get your blessings back for sure. So I want to thank you for being here, Tony. I really do feel like now you're my friend in my head. It's weird.
Thank you. I'm gonna do one more shameless plug.
Yeah. Oh wait, let me show your friends while you do that. Let me show her her page. But yes, do your plug.
Yes. So also one of the same childhood friend I referenced earlier, the male.
No, what male?
I said that he is the one. I met Mia through him initially.
Okay.
Friend moved from Georgia, and he was me, and Mia was that friend's girlfriend. So this is my high school bestie, Ali. He Instagram Whiskey Lee. They have an amazing adult podcast called We're All Adults Here. WAAH. So I think it's just the WAAH podcast. Super interesting content. It can get a little mature. Don't listen to it around your children. But if you want some good entertainment, I think you should check it out.
Okay, so Tony. Tony has a business. Shout it out again because there's a lot of new people in here. What's your business?
Jade Garden Wellness is a holistic feminine care line. Keeps your girl healthy. We have Diva Monroe, who is my makeup artist and close friend. And then we have We're All Adults Here, WAAH podcast. And thank you again for my father's GoFundMe support. Yes.
We did it. This was piping hot tea. This is absolutely an exclusive, and we will have Tony back giving her conjecture and foolishness with my foolishness on Sunday after the Potomac. So you will want to be here, guys.
I'm gonna have me a drink on Sunday. I didn't have one tonight. This is water.
Well, I'm like Portia. I'm a journalist, so I was trying to pretend like this was not a drink, but it was a drink. So
hey, I'm not mad at you.
Okay, we got one more super chat, and then we really do have to go because she has a life. Let's fire Mia and bring Tony instead. She brought a new low level to the show. Perhaps Tony gets back with Peter.
That's a hard no, that last part. Negative, but thank you. I hope he's happy. Praise God.
That personality is why you do belong on the show. You don't have to do a lot. If your personality is big, and I always say this, if your personality is big or your wallet is big, you don't have to have a lot of drama because just who you are as a person is enough to entertain people.
Yes, right. Like you look at Nene, for an example. She has drama, but she's not going that deep, and it's the personality and the whole persona that keeps people watching and wanting more. You don't have to go low to get likes and to get ratings. And I also want to say that production has a responsibility as well. I think they should do a better job with making sure that certain information is factual before you allow content to air that could potentially hurt someone's family or reputation.
What do you think about when production showed this? Was this appropriate?
What? That was wrong. She should have never folded them big old drawers right on TV anyway.
And on that note, goodbye, you guys. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you, everybody who was here. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for everybody who donated to her father. This was a really beautiful live, and I appreciate you all. And I will see you guys probably. I have something for tomorrow, so a video will be dropping tomorrow, but I'll definitely be here live Sunday night, 8:30 Central, with Tony reviewing the last Potomac reunion. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.